Welcome to the Momentum Matters podcast, where we have courageous conversations with women leaders. You'll hear about their accomplishments, their experiences, their challenges, and best advice. If you are inspired by women who have overcome the barriers and gone on to do extraordinary things, you are in the right place.
So, Maggie, I have just a few more questions that I wanted to ask you that we wanted to reserve for our members. And I wanted to go a little bit deeper on your personal side,
Okay.
how you spend your days now. I suppose you're not cutting 60,000 tomatoes and
No.
still making all that salsa, although I bet you still eat salsa, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Still.
I'm getting hungry for tacos just thinking. Okay, but I was curious about how you stay so focused like on the bigger picture. What kind of team do you have around you in order to do the speaking work that you do, the production work that you do with your social media is fantastic. And all of the philanthropic. It's a lot of big enterprise. And then, if your Instagram is true, you're still super driven to you're going out there speaking, in Kansas City, but you're out there walking with your weighted vest on. Um,
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about the big picture and the micro decisions.
Yes. It's important to start with the big pictures. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? And the one thing that is non-negotiable for me is to always have something written to remember, because every day that when you wake up, it's like a Control Alt Delete just hit, and you will forget. This is why you start with purpose. This is why you start with what is one affirmation that I can write, that I can turn into a goal, that I can focus on, and what are the three actions that I need to do that move the needle the most. That is to me non-negotiable. It's so easy to go on life in being an autopilot by the emotions. It's the difference between letting life control you and you taking control of your life. And the only way that you can do it is by priming your mind even before you go to bed, because I do this before you go to bed too, and when you awaken. And science is very firm on this. Your mind has the most neuroplasticity at that time. This is where you engrave things into your mind to say, I believe something is possible, therefore it comes true. The more you aligned you are with it, that's how it comes true. Because some people are like, well, what if it doesn't come true? It's all about alignment.
Mm.
It's all about being in that center, being
Do
in
you
that inner
believe
center.
that if something doesn't come true, then, or if something you say in your book is no is not forever?
Yes.
So do you believe that when something appears to not be coming true,
Yes. Well, it's
for a
sort of like,
reason?
yeah, it's sort of like you have to really be mindful about reframing. What is this thing that I don't see? What if this is a blessing right now? What if this is not the right time?
Mm.
But I do want this. How can I be more aligned? Because a lot of what happens to us is that we will fight with what we want, with fear, doubt, all these things without even knowing that we're doing that. And that's being out of alignment. We have all these things going on, but when you really, the most beautiful and powerful thing that you can do is to contemplate and to, you know, get it yourself in a state where you actually futurecast yourself with your see. You can use your senses, the breath, the hearing, the everything to futurecast. And I can talk about this in our talk. But when you do that, the mind doesn't know the difference between something real or imagined. And because of that, it becomes believable. And once it becomes believable, you begin to align with that, which is that energy that's what's bringing you to that place that you want to be, even though you're not there yet. So when you get there, for me, it always feels like I've always been there. There's no surprise.
Hmm. I love that. Um, you talk a little bit about some of the spiritual and some of the um, physical also disciplines that you
Yes.
practices that you have that have kept you, I would say, strong. uh,
Yes.
and thriving. So, what are some of those things, and how can people define them for themselves?
I think there's nothing more spiritual than acknowledging your power, acknowledging your divinity, that you are so much more than you think, so much more than you know. And everything else that follows that is so important, from priming your mind, from really giving your body what it needs, the energy, the vitality, with the foods that you eat, with the movement that you give it, with the mindset, the meditation, whatever you want to, put in your mind to say, this is how I'm going to think and be today, and I'm not going to let the outside world take control of that.
Mm.
That is so powerful and so important, because it really dictates the energy for the rest of the day. And this is why priming the first thing when you wake up, I do self-care, and I do it takes me about 4 hours to do that every day in the morning. But I love it,
Mm.
because I know if I didn't do it, if I miss it, the rest of my day is not going to be as joyful for me. Right now,
Even when you didn't have the 4 hours, Maggie,
yes,
when you were making salsa morning, noon,
yes,
and night, you still had the
morning
mindfulness
routine.
moment in the morning.
Yes,
I mean, you
yes.
couldn't spend four
The,
hours, but
yeah, even if you had 5 minutes,
yeah.
even if you had 10 minutes, whatever that is, make yourself a list of all the things that you wish you could do, and then go to the one or two that you will make non-negotiable for you,
Mhm.
and stick with them and see what happens. Just see what happens. Just
Mhm.
stick with them. And if it didn't work as well as you did, what are other two things that are in the list that I could maybe focus on and see? To me, it's a breath of life to get up every hour in the hour. Look, my timer's about to go off.
Yeah,
Every hour in
sit
the
here a
hour,
minute.
I drink a full thing of water, and I do movement snacks.
That's right.
Why? Because it keeps me awake and alive and vibrant, and all this energy. Instead of grabbing something from, I don't have anything bad to eat here, but anything bad, right? It's just vitality, is all that stuff that is so good for you.
Mm.
That the movement is really tied and connected to emotion, how you feel,
And
and how you. Mhm.
how do you keep going? Like when you are exhausted, maybe you've come in from a long trip and you're looking at your gym equipment and saying, I know this is going to make me feel better, but I am really, really, really exhausted. How do you get yourself over that hurdle?
Yes. Well, I say to myself, I know this is going to be painful, but I know that after I do this, I'm going to feel an amazing amount of dopamine, that it's going to have an impact for the rest of the day. But the very first thing that I ask myself, even before I even think that or read it, because I have it in my gym, is I look at my equipment, because I have a lot of, how do you call it, biohacking equipment. And I look at my equipment and see, I don't want to do 10 things today. What is the one thing that my body really, really needs right now? Because I might have 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and I do it, and I follow how I feel. And that, it to me, is good enough just to get started for the day.
Yeah, beautiful. And do you have a favorite workout jam?
Music.
Yes.
Honestly, I don't have music like singing. I just put on YouTube, on chill, the channel chill, like a chill music.
Okay.
And I just go into the zone of just, doing my workout, and I love it. A lot of times I will listen to a podcast,
Okay.
which is what this is. And the only thing with the podcast is, if I'm trying to think and I'm thinking about my reps, I get a little bit lost, and I'm like, oh, but
Trying to
chill
trying to
music.
do two things at once, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Maggie, thank you so much for spending a little extra time with us. And again, looking forward to receiving you here in the Magic City in March, and um, tasting a little bit of the good food on the town, and sharing the good spirits that are all coming to see you and gain from your knowledge and your experiences. So looking forward.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Momentum Matters. We invite you to subscribe to our podcast as we share more important conversations with women leaders. We would love for you to rate our show and share with others in your life. This episode of Momentum Matters was produced by Social U and brought to you by America's Thrift Stores, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, Protective Life, and Regions Bank. A full list of corporate partners can be found at momentumleaders.org. We also want to thank the individual donors, Momentum members, and volunteers for their commitment to our mission.